What's up guys, Simply Coco here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So today we are building in the world of Brindleton Bay. I almost forgot the name of this world and I haven't built here in a while, so yeah, glad I did this. But as you can tell by the title, we are building a small overgrown cottage. I don't know if I'm going to call it small overgrown cottage or tiny overgrown cottage. I mean, technically it is a tiny home. I do make it a tiny home residential. If you don't have tiny living, you can still download this. It just won't have, you just won't have the perks. I do add like this platform area out here and stuff. So I don't remember how many tiles this home uses. I think it says 70, but I think it ends up being exact. I think I end up using exactly 100 tiles. So as far as the game is concerned, this is a small home and not a tiny home or a micro home. So I may call it a small cottage or a small overgrown cottage because by the game standards, it's a small home because I end up using exactly 100 tiles because of the little platform area that I put in the front in order to raise the terrain. I thought I deleted it, but I don't know. And then I end up adding a porch in the back that I assume also, not assume, I know it also adds to the tile count. So yeah, somehow I got it to exactly 100 tiles. Enough about that. Excuse me. So, I spend most of my time for this build on the exterior because you will see I kind of go crazy with the landscaping. You'll actually be able to see that in the thumbnail, but obviously this is an overgrown cottage, so it's gonna have a lot of greenery, a lot of landscaping. I love the lot that I put it on. It just nestles into this lot almost perfectly in my opinion. Even though this lot is kind of off of the beach a little bit, I could see this home being, or this cottage, I mean it is a home, but I could see this cottage really being in this kind of area in real life. Yeah. But so just trying to figure out what windows. I don't remember which ones we end up going for. I think we just end up using the cats and dogs windows because we are in that world and they were the best windows. They looked the most like what I was going for. And then I was like, yeah, let's just use these everywhere. So I think we do end up going for cats and dogs windows. Speaking of cats and dogs, obviously Brindleton Bay comes with the cats and dogs expansion pack. So if you don't have the cats and dogs expansion pack, this will be a pretty difficult build for you to download. You will have a lot to replace because I'm using a lot of cats and dogs. And on the interior as well, I use a ton of cats and dogs. A lot of the exterior is base game though. This fence, oddly enough, is actually from Strangerville. So it by no means is this a limited pack build. It's definitely all over the place. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna end up using some plants from is it Romantic Garden stuff? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I end up using plants from the Romantic Garden stuff. These right here. So I mean, by no means is this a limited pack build, but yeah, I did use a lot of base game and a lot of cats and dogs. So obviously, if you have The Sims at all, you have base game. But if you don't have cats and dogs, this will be a pretty difficult build for you to download. There will be a lot for you to replace, if I didn't say that already. So yeah, just using a different mixture of bushes, some from cats and dogs, some from base games, some from Get Together, and I just kind of place it wherever the eye takes me. I didn't really have a strategy for the landscaping. I never really do, because a lot of people, no one has ever asked me, but just in my experience in the Sims community, a lot of people usually ask like simmers or builders like their landscaping tips, and the only tip that I could give for landscaping is just do what looks right, do what looks natural. Just take a, lean back a little bit as you're landscaping and just where does your eye tell you to put the next, the next bush? That's really the best advice I could give for landscaping. As you can see, we did just do a jump because I did one side and then started bringing it over to the next side, and then it was just taking too long, so I cut the second side out. Um, and now it is complete, so you can kind of see it. So the greenery does kind of grow over that little awning and then down onto the next side. So yeah, it kind of I did that by lifting the 9 key, um, lifting some stuff up with the 9 key and hiding their branches or whatever you want to call it within another plant or bush. This is the backyard, so I think I left all of the backyard landscaping in just because I was just pretty much copying it from the front. I wasn't really thinking about it as hard in the back. Now I'm just adding some trees, and then we'll add some terrain paint just to kind of make it blend into the lot better, because towards the back of the lot, that's where it goes onto the beach. And there's a little bit of sand right off of the lot. So I bring a little bit of that sand onto the lot because I imagine the Sims that live here probably do walk back and forth to the beach quite a bit. Speaking of the Sims that live here, because once we get into the interior, it won't take that long because it's a pretty short build. Um, I imagine this being for a retired old couple. I was really questioning that storyline for a bit because the bedroom is a loft bedroom, so you have to go up some stairs, and once you go up the stairs, you're into the bedroom. So for an older couple, it might be hard for them to get up and down the stairs every morning, every night, every day. Um, it might be bad for their knees or their back or their legs, whatever it may be. But then I was like, we're just gonna pretend that they have one of those like little chair elevators that go up the stairs. But also maybe they're not that old. Maybe they're not, because I feel like, I mean, anyone could need one of those like stair elevator things, but um, maybe they're not like 80 years old. Maybe they're just like late 60s or something. Late 60s, early 70s. Um, Pretty good and pretty well in shape, pretty good, health and all of that. So as you can see now, I started with the eco lifestyle flooring, but I changed it over to the cats and dogs flooring. Oh no, that's not cats and dogs. I think that's from Get Famous. It's a wood flooring that looks really weathered and looks really old. And I figured that would be better because I would imagine this is an older home. It's been here for a long time. And maybe when this old couple moved into it, like I don't think this old couple lived here forever. Like this isn't where they've been living forever. Maybe they had a bigger house somewhere in Willow Creek or Del Sol Valley or something, and they moved here after they retired. And they just left the original flooring, they left the original walls, and all they came in and did was added their furniture. This is the probably, sorry if you can hear Denim barking. This is the original kitchen that was in the home. Maybe they replaced the refrigerator. Maybe they replaced the stove. But yeah, they left the original wood floorings. This original tile in the kitchen that you can see is kind of worn out. Yeah, and they just added their own furniture. They didn't want to fully renovate this property because they were older and it didn't really make sense. And maybe whenever they passed on, they would just sell it, or, well, they wouldn't sell it if they're passed, but maybe they can instruct their kids to sell it or something. But yeah, so that's kind of the storyline. I don't know how many kids the couple has or what jobs they used to have, but now they live here. So I completely talked through the kitchen. It was pretty self-explanatory. I used the Country Kitchen kitchen. That's a mouthful. I used the table from Paranormal, and I used the chairs from Cats and Dogs. So the color scheme for this house is yellows and blues. Yeah, yellows and blues. And this is the living space. Hopefully, I didn't play test this. Hopefully everything in here can be used because there's a fireplace, there's this couch, there's a bookcase, a coffee table, um and a lamp. So I just hope that everything is accessible. Um cuz the coffee table could possibly be in the way. I'm not 100% sure. If it is, you could just delete the coffee table. They don't really need one because they have the end table. Um, or delete the couch and you can put two chairs there. Like each one of them has their own chair that they like to sit in. Or delete the fireplace. I don't know. But one of the easier things to do would probably be just delete the coffee table or the couch because the fireplace is holding the TV and all of these knickknacks and stuff. Um, but hopefully they can get to the bookcase and use the fireplace where I have everything currently. I don't know why it took me so long to do this little living room, but as you can see, it did. What I end up doing is end up scooting the coffee table closer to the fireplace right here. That way, to the right of the fireplace could be where they go to it to use it, and then I wanted to make sure they could be able to sit on the couch and get around the table to go to the other side to get to the bookcase. So hopefully everything works. If not, I truly apologize. I hardly ever player test my builds. I used to at the beginning when I first started Sims YouTube, just because I felt like I had to. And when I feel like I have to do something, I don't like doing it. Let me know if you're like that as well. But if I feel like I have to do something, I don't like doing it. So 9 times out of 10, I won't player test a build. Sorry about that. I mean, no one has ever complained to me about it. Not on YouTube, not on the gallery. Like, no one has ever complained and said, "Hey, this was a nice build," but I had to basically redesign it because nothing worked. Like, I've never had that issue. Um, but normally, if you've built in The Sims for a while and you build a lot, you pretty much know what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. There's just certain like instances where I'm like, I have no idea if this is gonna work, and this is one of those instances where I'm not sure if anything in the living room is gonna work, but hopefully it does. Um, just finishing up this hallway right now, and yeah, just using a bunch of clutter. I usually cut out bathrooms, but we're going to do the bathroom as well. And this was another reason why I didn't know if I wanted this to be for elders or not, because usually when I have an elder sim in a home, I like to give them a tub, just because I feel like an elder wouldn't want to stand up and shower all the time. They'd want the option of soaking in a hot bath or just sitting down in general. But with this being a small home, I had to just use the university shower, so it is what it is. It's The Sims, so it doesn't have to be 100% realistic. But here we are to the upstairs loft bedroom. So up here, I have a double bed, which is pushed up against the wall, but the scoot feature is in the game, I think permanently for everyone now. Like, because it used to work in some people's games and not in others, but I think it works for everyone now. So what you have to do is you have to assign both sides of the bed to one of your Sims, and then whoever sleeps on the side of the bed that's up against the wall, you have to tell that Sim to go to sleep first, and then they'll scoot over to their side of the bed, and then the second Sim can then get in their spot. But just know that until the one on the edge wakes up, the one that's up against the wall won't be able to get up. At least I assume. I've never played with a bed up against the wall unless it was like a teen's room and they slept in there by themselves. But as you know, I usually tend to clutter up the kitchen before I do. As I usually clutter the kitchen last. The very last thing I do is whatever exterior stuff I have left over, but before that I always clutter the kitchen. So I'm using a lot of the Country Kitchen kit stuff. I use that jar and size it down twice to kind of make it look like one is for sugar, one is for flour, maybe one's for rice or grits or something like that. Here's the small little back porch. I give them both a rocking chair. The one without the cushion is probably for the guy, for the man. The one with the cushion is the one with the cushion is for the woman. Give them a trash can and then a little seating area just in case like their friends come over. Maybe they have another elder couple friends, or if their kids come over or something. Then I give them some planter boxes just to have another skill building item. And then just finishing off a little bit more landscaping, adding some vines. And that is it, guys. The screenshots will start rolling here soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will always respond to your comments. And please hit that notification bell. That way you know exactly when I post my next video, exactly when I post it. And I will see you all then. Bye, guys.